Now, 11 minutes past 9. We're going to get the weather from Tom Masher in a few minutes.
Now, they can be creative, addictive and fun, but a new report is warning that online games containing adverts could influence the food choices our children make.
Researchers at the University of Bath have told the BBC that social media and online apps are targeting children to advertise food that's high in salt, sugar and fat.
Joining us is one of the report's authors, Dr. Haiming Han from the University of Bath, and Don Sodergren, a social marketing specialist. Good morning, once again to both of you. In terms of doing this research, were you at all surprised by your findings?
To some extent, we do find it surprised because advert games, which is online games or mobile games that are specially created for promoting certain brands or products, can influence children's, say, brand choices and brand preference outside their conscious awareness. And children as old as 15 can't understand or recognize that advert games are one type of advertising techniques. So we do find these results very, very surprising because advert games has been in the market for a long time. But children as old as 15 can't understand that.
And how widespread are they, these advert games that you're talking about?
So it's online games or mobile games that are created for advertising messages are widely available via social media such as Facebook or via company's website or even on some websites like Miniclips.
Dan, do you think parents should be worried? You've got a little one, haven't you?
I do have a little one, yeah. I think parents should be worried to some extent, but we've got to take a bit of parental responsibility back again. We've got a bit of more parental power. I think you're absolutely right. There should be some kind of regulation, but I don't think you can regulate inside the company's website, because if they're inside the company's website, that's like, it's almost like going to someone's house and saying, look, we don't like what you've done with your house. I don't think we should be able to regulate inside
No, it's not, is it? It's going to a company website and a company taking advantage of a child that doesn't know that it's being advertised. If
that child is in that space and environment, I think you're already a little bit too late. I think the parent has to take a little bit of responsibility there, because if they're already on the website, it's a little bit like a child walking into a pub and then seeing alcohol being advertised. Well, that's in a pub, so that's going to happen. I think there is a massive opportunity here for brands to exploit people, yes. It's good marketing in some respects, but ethically really, really unsound as well. If you're linking together, I don't know, fast foods and sport, absolutely that should be banned outright. I don't necessarily believe that the regulation will work, however, if it's just a labelling moment.
And Dr. Haiming, presumably the companies will just find another way to get around if the legislation changes.
What is the key thing I think we want to make it clear then is basically advert games are not just available on companies' websites. They are on social media, which children can easily access, and they're also on Miniclips, where there's no age limitation on children to play the games. So that's the reason I think advert games containing junk food should be totally banned.
I think we definitely agree on the fact that those kind of things should be banned. There should be some kind of regulation in that other space. My point is, if it's the company's space, then I think that's going to be very, very hard to regulate, and maybe you shouldn't. However, you know, advert games and mobile games can also be used for good. And let's not get rid of the positive side of it. If they can teach people to do bad things, then surely they can teach people to do good things as well. Your report before about, you know, kids eating more fresh food. Well, maybe we should make a mobile game that.
But they're not doing that. They're not doing that, though, are they? There are fast food companies
will never do that. Absolutely right.
Aren't going to do that. You know, with cereals that are advertised with high sugar content. This is what children are being exposed to. This is the problem that perhaps parents, and you've made this point, need to be more educated or need to be more aware of what children are being exposed to.
I think in the modern world, we've got to teach, you know, young people and small children about online stuff and a variety of different things. There's going to be a lot more dangers online than there used to be. But let's be honest, you know, I won't mention any brand names, but the game, we've always played games. They've always had games on the back of their packaging. It's always been about that. That is part and parcel of it. We can't really now tell them off and saying, well, now they're online as well. That's terrible. Well, actually, we're all online now. Maybe we should educate people, parents, and they should take more responsibility, really.
And Dr. Haiming, do you expect much to change as a result of your report? Are you optimistic?
OK. What we try to call for is a compulsory, clear and uniform labelling system, which they can inform children that when they play advert games, they are exposed to commercial messages. In other words, they can make up their own minds to see whether they want to accept or reject those commercial messages embedded in advert games. We also try to encourage a public debate to see whether those advert games about junk food should be totally banned, because junk food currently is totally banned on TV advertising. but there's no clear regulations.
I think that's your
games.
point, though, isn't it? It's not necessarily banning advertising games. It's actually purely in this subsect for children.
Okay.
And I mean, and for me, it's not about protecting these companies, because that's also not my job. My concern is that in some way we might over-regulate, and actually, will that regulation even work? Will labelling it work?
Lots of questions to ask.
Thank you.
Thank you for the discussion, Dan, and Dr. Hing, thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
It